Hello, Paul from Care to Lead here, and in this video we're going to be going through a small exercise to help you grow your confidence. Just a little reminder about the model of how we affect the ward culture, and the idea is that you will be able to have stronger influence on the ward culture if you are a better leader, and an important part of being a better leader is, of course, growing confidence in your competence. For this exercise, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen, and I'd like to say that the evidence is quite clear that those people who bother to do the exercise with writing things down do better than those people who just sit there and think about it. But the choice is yours. Okay, so on your piece of paper, what I would like you to do is give yourself a scaling score of how good you are as whatever profession you're in: nurse or matron or occupational therapist, social worker, clinical psychologist, doctor, administrator, pharmacist, whatever. But the point is, you put yourself on that scale there, somewhere between utterly useless and practically perfect. Now go ahead and do that. This is a very private exercise. You don't have to show it to anybody. Just give yourself a score. Okay, when you've done that, what I would like you to do now is start writing down at least 10 things that you do that make you as good as that. So say to yourself, if you'd given yourself a 5, that's the score in the middle, if you'd given yourself a 5, ask yourself, what do I do that makes me a 5 rather than a 4 or a 3? What talents do I have? What knowledge do I have that make me a 5 rather than a 4 or a 3? Or if you're a little bit more confident already, you can say, what makes me an 8 rather than a 7 or a 6? But you'll get the idea. So go ahead and write down at least 10 things that make you as good as that. And when you've done that, you might come up with a list a bit like this. And when you've got your first 10, shouldn't be too difficult to think up 10 things. When you've got your first 10, what I'd like you to do is think of another 10 things that make you so good. So you see what we're doing here is we're asking you to focus very, very deliberately on the things that you can do, the knowledge that you have, the talents that you've developed. Good luck with that. Okay, just a little explanation of what's going on here. Very commonly, we find that people judge themselves as belonging to one of two very, very different categories. You're either utterly useless or you're practically perfect. You're either a success or you're a failure. And this is called black and white thinking, and it's marked by there being no shades of grey between the two of them. And sometimes in this world, that's perfectly okay. You go for an exam, you come out of it, you've either passed or you've failed. But in many other cases in the world, this isn't actually a very useful way of going about things. And that's why, in terms of your capabilities, we don't think it's terribly useful. And we think it's much more useful for you to scale yourself somewhere between 0 and 10, because this will tell you two things. First of all, it will tell you how good you are. What are the things that make you better than 0? And there will be nobody listening to this video who is utterly useless. The very fact that you've bothered to listen shows that you're interested in improving your nursing care. But it also shows you that progress from whatever score you've given yourself up towards practically perfect can be done in small steps rather than a huge leap between the two different boxes. And that is what we want. Thank you for listening.